Welcome back, class 10, your civics class. The Supreme Court revision we will do today. In your 2021 revised syllabus for your ICSE, you have under the Supreme Court composition, qualifications of the judges, appointment, original and appellate jurisdiction, advisory and revisory functions, judicial review, court of records, enforcement of fundamental rights and writs. Okay, starting off with the composition. The composition of the Supreme Court. At the commencement of the Constitution, the number of judges was 8, including the Chief Justice of India. So when the Constitution started, the number of judges in the Supreme Court was 8, including the Chief Justice. That means Chief Justice plus 7. Parliament may by law prescribe a larger number of judges. In accordance with an Act of 2008, the Supreme Court consists of the Chief Justice of India and not more than 30 other judges. Now there was an amendment in 2008. Now they have the Chief Justice of India and not more than 30 other judges. Delhi is the seat of Supreme Court. The court may sit in such other place or places as the Chief Justice of India may, with the approval of the President, decide. Basically, what does it mean? It means that the Supreme Court is in New Delhi, but it can have its session in any other place in India if the Chief Justice thinks it is necessary. Obviously, the approval of the President is required. Appointment of the judges. Every judge of the Supreme Court is appointed by the President after consultations with such of the judges of Supreme Court and of High Courts as the President might deem necessary. So every judge of the Supreme Court is appointed by the President, and the President will consult with the judges of the Supreme Court and of the High Court, whatever the President thinks necessary. But while appointing a judge other than the Chief Justice, while appointing a judge who is not the Chief Justice, the Chief Justice of India is always consulted, obviously. The Chief Justice of India was required to consult the 4 senior-most judges of the Supreme Court before making any recommendation to the President of India. So the President of India consults the Chief Justice, and the Chief Justice, before answering the President of India, consults 4 other senior-most judges of the Supreme Court. This came to be known as collegium system, which allows a college of persons. College of persons means a group of persons. Persons over here are the judges, to appoint the judges. Now, National Judicial Appointments Commission, NJAC Act of 2014 had established a commission for making recommendations for appointment of judges of the Supreme Court and High Courts. On 16th October 2015, the Supreme Court struck down the National Judicial Appointments Commission and revived the old collegium system. The criteria of appointment of the Chief Justice of India shall be out of seniority. Now, under composition, the qualification for appointment as a judge is also there, and obviously qualifications of judges are also there in your exam. A judge of a Supreme Court must be a citizen of India, obviously, must have been for at least 5 years a judge of a High Court or an advocate of a High Court for at least 10 years, or must be, in the opinion of the President, a distinguished jurist. Oath of the office. is not there in your syllabus. Term and removal is also not there, but since it is under the composition and organization of Supreme Court, I am teaching you, or revising rather. Oath of office. Every judge, before he enters upon his office, has to make an oath or affirmation or a promise that he will, number one, will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution. Number two, will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India. Number three, will perform the duties of his office without fear or favor, affection or ill will. The oath is administered by the President of India. Term of office and removal. Once appointed, a judge retires on attaining the age of 65 years. A judge may be removed from his office by the President on the ground of proved misbehavior or incapacity. But that is possible only when an address of each House of Parliament passed by the majority of the total membership of the House and by the majority of not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting has been presented to the President. It has to be passed by a majority to prove his misbehavior. That is a very important thing. Salaries, etc. of judges. The Chief Justice and other judges are paid such salaries as may be determined by the Parliament. Their salaries are charged under the Consolidated Fund of India. So this is the composition only, although in the syllabus only the composition is given. I am revising the composition and organization since it is under the same heading. Now comes the appointment of judges. Now, in appointing the judges, the President shall act on the recommendations of the Collegium, as we have learnt some time back. Collegium means a group of judges to appoint other judges. Headed by the Chief Justice of India. So, in appointing the judges of the Supreme Court, the President consults the Collegium, whose head is the Chief Justice of India. Thus, neither the executive, that is the President and the Union Minister of Law, nor the Chief Justice of India, acting on his own, can have the full control over judges' appointment. In other words, neither political bias nor personal favoritism would play any part in the appointment of judges. It has enhanced independence on judiciary. So, while appointing the judges, personal bias, political bias, personal favoritism will not be allowed. That is why the President will have to take the suggestions or recommendations of the Collegium headed by the Chief Justice. Now, jurisdiction. Original, appellate. Jurisdiction is the power that a court of law exercises to carry out judgment, to interpret laws, and to settle disputes. So what does jurisdiction mean? Jurisdiction means it's a power that a court has got to exercise law and to carry out judgments, to interpret laws and to settle disputes. So it is the power given to the court to exercise law and carry out judgment. Supreme Court has an extensive, means elaborate, jurisdiction, both original and appellate. Appellate means under appeal. It has also advisory jurisdiction and it is the final interpreter of the Constitution. What is original jurisdiction? The original jurisdiction extends to those cases which Supreme Court has authority to hear and decide in the first instance. That means any cases that goes directly to the Supreme Court the first instance is known as original jurisdiction. The Supreme Court, in its original jurisdiction, entertains suits, suits means cases, in the following cases. And what are the cases of original jurisdiction? Number 1, a dispute between Government of India and one or more states. In one side there is Government of India and other side is one or more states. Disputes between two or more states. Dispute between the Union and any state on one side and other states in another side. Regarding all the above disputes, the Supreme Court has exclusive jurisdiction. In other words, these disputes cannot be heard or decided by other courts. Again, the Supreme Court entertains suits for enforcement of fundamental rights also. The jurisdiction is not exclusive, but because it is not an exclusive jurisdiction, because high courts can also issue writs to enforce fundamental rights. Original jurisdiction extends to such other cases in which interpretation of the Constitution is involved. Where the interpretation or understanding of the Constitution is involved, in such cases, it comes under original jurisdiction. So today we have revised composition of the Supreme Court, qualifications of the judges, and extra we have revised oath of office, term of office and removal, and under the jurisdictions and functions we have revised original jurisdiction. Now in the next class we'll start with appellate jurisdiction. It is just for, in a nutshell, let me tell you, it is a court of appeal in which many changes or decision or reduce the sentence is passed by the lower court. The Supreme Court is the final court of appeal, and appeal lies to the Supreme Court from any judgment or final order of a high court in India. The appellate jurisdiction extends in following cases: constitutional cases, civil cases, appeal in criminal matters. And what does it mean? It means, suppose in a lower court, that means in a high court or a city civil court, there I am having a civil case against another party, and the judgment which is passed in the lower courts does not go in my favor. So I am very unhappy. So I can appeal to the higher court. If the high court passes a judgment which does not go in my favor, under appellate jurisdiction I can appeal it to the higher court. Next higher court is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court might retain the order of the lower court or can reverse the order and give the judgment in my favor. So this is in a nutshell appellate jurisdiction. We'll start off in the next class with a detailed discussion of the appellate jurisdiction. Till then, thank you.